Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Glenn Butler reporting on your news from around the Columbia Basin for Thursday, June 27th. Tonight, we report on how Moses Lake may close facilities to meet their budget, and we look at why Soap Lake fired their fire chief. We also look at the results of the SNAP challenge and the sentencing of 2 men for the murder of Ramiro Munoz Jr. In sports, the Mariners lost another one to Pittsburgh, and the Pac-12 and Big Ten conferences have agreed to add some bowl games to their postseason football schedules. Our spotlight story tonight is about a new technology that should be able to help people needing new organs. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story tonight, Moses Lake may close the museum, the Larson Recreation Center, and ice rink to deal with its budget shortfall. City Manager Joe Gavinsky said the city has enough in reserves, new revenue, and saving money by not filling positions to make up roughly $2.3 million of a $2.8 million budget deficit. The city is facing shortfall following a settlement between Grant County and REC Silicon, which ended 3 years of dispute between the company and the county concerning property values. As part of the settlement, the city had to pay about $880,000 back to the company in property taxes and lost about $2 million in property tax revenue for 2013. Gavinsky said the city left about 10 positions open, which he had previously said were across all departments. The city also reduced the amount it spends on construction and repair for its streets. Some of the ideas to reduce the budget include closing the ice skating rink, Larson Recreation Center, and the BMX track, or the Museum and Art Center. The city is also examining cuts it may need to make in 2014, as it's planning to have $1.8 million less in revenue from property taxes. The city may close the auditorium in the Civic Center and the multi-purpose room in the fire station to the public. You can read more about the story and about how the city tried to save money by visiting us online at ifiber1.com/news. Soap Lake Fire Chief Dan Shields was terminated this week. Soap Lake Mayor Raymond Gravel said Tuesday that he couldn't comment on the reason for Shields' dismissal, but he planned to issue a press release by July 1st. At least 8 Soap Lake Fire volunteers reportedly quit the department after Shields was let go, citing their support for the former chief. Volunteer Brent Martin is one of several former volunteers, claiming Gravel accused Shields of taking money from a fire department fundraiser and equipment belonging to the fire department. Soap Lake Police Chief Glenn Quantz said Tuesday he did not take part in any conversations between the fire chief and the mayor prior to Shields' dismissal, but he may be obligated to look into allegations of theft. Shields declined to comment on his termination, but his wife Laurel Shields said she has spoken with an attorney about possible legal action against Gravel and Quantz. Laurel Shields was the fire department's volunteer safety officer and claims she too was asked to step down. She also says the city seized her computer and tools belonging to her husband as evidence. For more on the story, you can visit us online at ifiber1.com/news. The SNAP challenge is done and the results were shared at a meeting last night. Here with the story is Spencer Graham.
Yesterday marked the end of the week-long SNAP, or Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program Challenge, where participants were expected to spend no more than $38.83 on food or beverages, the same amount received by the average user of food stamps.
I ate a whole lot of peanut butter. I did do lots of good fruits and vegetables, grocery outlet. I was able to get an amazing deal on lots of mangoes and avocados.
Community Services of Moses Lake and Community Farm Connection in Wenatchee partnered to sponsor the event with hopes of raising awareness for those living on a low budget. Participants were expected to avoid accepting free food from friends, family, or coworkers. Moses Lake Mayor Bill Ekrit said that being involved with politics makes this particular challenge rather difficult.
It is tough. You know, normally that's one of the jokes when you're a politician is that you put a 10 pounds or so on that first year you're a politician, but it is tough. You do have luncheons you go to, you have breakfast sometimes you go to, and even dinners. And what I found myself doing was even cutting back at those. It's difficult.
Eating cheap isn't exactly healthy either. Many people claim that living off such a low food budget doesn't allow much of a heart-healthy lifestyle.
I can honestly say I'm not really positive we ate as healthy as we probably should have. So it really makes us realize how tough it is for those families out there that are having to struggle to do that same thing. And things are expensive. You know, when you try to eat healthy, it is expensive.
Roberts says that the importance of this challenge is made clear when considering that about 15% of U.S. residents use food stamps.
It is almost 48 million Americans that are on the SNAP program, which was astounding to me. I had no idea it was that many.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Spencer Graham reporting with Ryan Lancaster.
Thank you, Spencer. The National Guard's 1161st Transportation Company is holding a picnic on Saturday, and everyone's invited. From 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Oasis RV Park and Golf Course in Ephrata, there will be food, music, games, rock wall climbing, volleyball, and fishing for kids 14 and under. The National Guard Freedom Cruiser will also be on hand. Each of the people you see here have warrants for their arrest and are wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call police. You can call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or at 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We will be right back after these messages with the latest from our iFIBER 1 Weather Center, sports, and more news.